Alright guys, so you can see again I'm working on a 175C crawler loader. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm just getting this thing operating. It's been sitting for a few years. Old boy passed away. I bought it off of his brother. Anyhow, I've been doing a lot of stuff to it, so if you haven't seen my other videos, go to my home channel there, click on this 175C playlist, and you'll see all those videos. And go ahead and click that subscribe button right now, so you'll see all the videos that I will be making of it. So anyhow, you'll see that I've got it parked up on some railroad ties. And the reason that I've got it parked on railroad ties is I'm in the process of changing out the fluid in the rear end. The rear frame fluid is what I'm changing here. So what that lubricates is the rear end and all the transmission drivetrain. So the torque converter, your wet clutches, everything to do with the drive train that isn't the final drives or the planetary drives. Those are independent. I just did those in another video, so check that out. But other than the planetary drives, this fluid here is the rest of the transmission drivetrain. You know, of course, the engine is separate. But so what I'm doing is I parked it up on these railroad ties enough to give me some enough space to get up under it, because there's a decent amount of room up under here, but we start sliding buckets in and out, it gets real tight. So, you know, an extra 8 inches or whatever makes a big difference actually. So the plug that I've pulled is right there, and I pulled that plug, filled up the first 2 buckets, you know, put 1 bucket under, and as it was kind of full, just hurried up and changed it out, slid the next bucket under, only, you know, leaked a drip. And then when that second bucket got full, I reach up under there and put the plug back in. So I've got 2 buckets drawn out here. This reservoir, according to the book, holds 35 gallons of fluid. So you know, I expect to get at least 32, 33 gallons of fluid out of it. I mean, anytime you look at your book and it calls for a quantity, you can always expect that it's pretty close, but you can never get all the fluid out of the corners and cracks and crevices and stuff. So just because it says 35, in fact, this is just a bit low on the dipstick, so I'm gonna guess I maybe get 6 buckets or 6.5 buckets anyhow. So I'm just doing it 2 buckets at a time. And because this is going to generate so much fluid for lawnmowers and cars and trucks like that, I've got a barrel that I keep in the corner of the garage over there for all my waste oil. And I mean, the barrel's a blue barrel. It holds what, 55 gallons or whatever. You know, this thing, just doing the maintenance on this thing, the transmission, just between the transmission and the hydraulics is going to generate something like, I think there's 35 gallons for that, and there's 24 gallons. So I mean, you're talking over a barrel of oil just for the hydraulics and the transmission. So because I'm going to be generating so much oil, I'm going to be taking these buckets over here. I bought me some IBC totes, and you can see I've got that yellow bucket cut off. That bucket's got a spout on the top of it, and I cut the bottom of the bucket off, so it's flipped upside down with a spout pointing in the IBC tote. And I got my ladder up there, and that's what I'll end up putting a good bit in that IBC tote just from just from changing the hydraulics and rear end on this thing. So anyhow, that's what I'm working on right now. I'll show you guys what it looks like to refill this thing here in just a bit. Alright, it's pretty windy, so I'd imagine that's gonna show up on video here. It might be kind of tough to hear me, but this is the fluid that I'm using. The book calls for 10 weight oil or a high, what is it? International Hi-Tran equivalent. Hi-Tran being their like trade name for their brand of fluid. This stuff's supposed to meet that Hi-Tran requirements or whatever. This is not the cheapest tractor hydraulic transmission oil you can get. You can get a 303. It's real common. They call it a yellow bucket. That stuff runs about $20 for a bucket. This stuff here is a little bit more expensive. I think I give like, well, they cut me a deal because I bought 13 buckets, but it's a little over $30 a bucket is what I give for this stuff. And I'm up here on the machine now. You can see I got a little bit of a puddle there. Kind of makes a little bit of a mess. But I dumped the first about 3 buckets in before I even worried about checking it. But right here is where you want to check your fluid level. And then after I got 3 buckets in there, I went ahead and started the machine. According to the book, you're supposed to have it running in neutral at idle. And even on the dipstick there, you're probably not going to be able to read that. It says full engine running there. That's the mark you're looking for. So when it got on the dipstick, just the fluid, when it first touched the end of the dipstick, I think it took like 1.5 buckets to get it up to the full mark. So this thing was a little bit low. I think, like I said, the book calls for 35 gallons in that reservoir. And I think, see, that bucket's a little more than half empty. I used almost 5 buckets, so probably 23, 24 gallons. So I'm guessing just the rest of that fluid is distributed throughout, you know, torque converter, all the lines, the filters and stuff like that. So 35 gallons in the whole system, but you know, I was only able to change out 23, 24 gallons. So you know, you do what you can and just keep up on your changes. You know, I think it says to change this at least once a year anyhow, whether you're, you know, run 1,000 hours or not. So 1,000 hours or every year. So anyhow, that's it, guys. This is the stuff, you know, a Hy-Tran equivalent. That's where you put it in. That's the dipstick. When you check it, you don't thread it on. The book, you know, book tells you to set it down, don't thread it, and then pull it out and check it. So with the engine running at idle in neutral. So that's it. Go ahead and click the like button if you like this video. Click the subscribe if you want to see more, because I'm doing all kinds of stuff on this machine right now. I'll be working on that machine here for long. And I mean, there's a tractor in there. There's 5 tractors over there. You never know what in the hell I'm going to get into. So if you like this kind of video, click that subscribe button and you'll see more just like it. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.